All right, let's get right into it. If you're building with large language models, you have almost certainly hit this major fork in the road. You've got to pick a framework, and the two names that keep popping up are, of course, LangChain and LlamaIndex. So let's break this down and figure out which one is the right choice for your project.
So picture this. You're trying to build a RAG app, that's Retrieval Augmented Generation, and you're just staring at these two options feeling, well, kind of stuck. If that's you, you are not alone. This is probably one of the biggest questions developers are wrestling with right now, and for a very good reason.
And believe me, this choice really matters. Picking the right framework is like having the wind at your back. Everything just clicks, and you can build incredibly fast. But pick the wrong one, and you're going to feel like you're constantly fighting against it, just swimming upstream and wasting precious time and energy. Getting this right from the start is absolutely crucial. To really wrap our heads around the difference, we need a simple way to think about it. And honestly, the best mental model is this. One is a generalist, and the other is a specialist. This one single idea is going to clarify pretty much everything for us.
Okay, so here's the core philosophy of each. LangChain is the generalist. Think of it like a Swiss Army knife for building with AI. It's designed to help you build any kind of LLM app you can dream of. We're talking agents, complex chat systems, you name it. LlamaIndex, on the other hand, is the specialist. It's more like a surgeon's scalpel. It was built from the ground up to do one job exceptionally well, connecting your private data to large language models.
And that generalist philosophy creates a really fundamental trade-off, right? LangChain gives you this incredible flexibility. If you're building complicated workflows with different tools and autonomous agents, it has got your back. LlamaIndex, it's less flexible for those big, sprawling tasks, but its laser focus means it is highly optimized and streamlined specifically for RAG and other jobs that are all about the data. This difference even shows up in their ecosystems. Because LangChain has been around a bit longer and, it just covers more ground, it has a massive community and well over 400 integrations. LlamaIndex has a smaller but super passionate community, and its integrations are, you guessed it, specialized, with over 160 connectors designed specifically to get your data into the system, no fuss.
All right, theory is one thing, but what does this actually look like when the rubber hits the road? Let's jump into some code and see how this whole generalist versus specialist idea really plays out when you start typing. We're going to take on a classic task, one that you are probably working on right now, building a simple question and answer app over a bunch of your own documents. We'll feed it some text, we'll ask it some questions. It's the perfect test for these two frameworks. First up, LangChain. Now, building with LangChain can feel a little bit like you're a mechanic assembling an engine piece by piece. You have to be really explicit. You have to connect all the parts yourself. You're going to configure the document loading, set up the embeddings, create the vector store, which is basically a specialized database for your AI. And then finally, you construct the retrieval chain. It's definitely more work, but the payoff is that you have total granular control over every single lever in the process. Okay, now let's look at the exact same task with LlamaIndex. If LangChain is like being a mechanic, LlamaIndex is more like just getting in the car and turning the key. You basically just point it at your data, and it handles everything else under the hood. It loads the docs, creates the index, and just hands you a query engine that's ready to go. It makes a ton of smart assumptions and uses really sensible defaults, hiding all that complexity so you can get a result way faster.
And this right here, this says it all. For a standard, simple RAG task, you're looking at about 5 lines of code in LlamaIndex compared to around 20 in LangChain. Now, this is not a judgment on which is better. It's just a perfect reflection of their design philosophies. Smart defaults versus explicit control. So, with all that in mind, how do you actually choose? Let's build a quick and easy decision framework to help you pick the right tool for your specific job.
Okay, you should probably lean towards LangChain if your project is bigger than just RAG. If you're building an app with a lot of diverse features, if you need complex agents that can use tools, or if you just want maximum flexibility and you want to tap into that huge ecosystem of integrations, LangChain is your go-to.
On the flip side, you're going to want to choose LlamaIndex if the heart and soul of your application is your data. If your main goal is building a Q&A or a summarization tool, and you really value simplicity, speed, and just getting started quickly with a framework that's heavily optimized for that one job, LlamaIndex is almost certainly the better fit.
But hang on, what if you're looking at both of those lists and you're thinking, I kind of need a bit of both? Well, here is the great news. This is not a strict either-or choice. They are actually designed to be compatible.
Oh yeah, you can absolutely use both in the same project.
In fact, a really common and powerful pattern is to use LlamaIndex for what it does best, that best-in-class data indexing and retrieval, and then hand off that work to a LangChain agent for more complex reasoning and tool use. And here's a great pro tip: if you're starting a RAG project, just begin with LlamaIndex. If you find you need more complex agentic behavior later on, you can always integrate LangChain.
So, let's wrap this all up. Let's get to the final verdict. How should you be thinking about these two incredible frameworks as you move forward? This summary table really brings it all home, doesn't it? I mean, just look down the columns. LangChain is all about general-purpose apps, high flexibility, total versatility. Now look at the LlamaIndex column: data-focused, easy mode for RAG, and optimized for speed over absolute control. It all comes back to that one core idea: the generalist versus the specialist. And that brings us to the most important point of all. There is no single winner here. Declaring one better than the other completely misses the point. It's like asking if a hammer is better than a screwdriver. The real question is, what are you trying to build?
So, here's what I want you to walk away with. Think of LangChain as your versatile, do-everything toolkit. LlamaIndex is your specialized, high-performance engine for data and RAG. If you're doing document Q&A, start with LlamaIndex. If you're building complex agents, look to LangChain. And most importantly, remember that you don't always have to choose just one.
And that leaves us with one final, bigger question to think about for the future of AI development. As these systems get more and more complex, are we going to see more success from developers who use a generalist's all-in-one toolkit, or from those who masterfully combine a whole bunch of specialized, high-precision scalpels? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining me.